Hi everybody, welcome to my reading corner, and I thought I would update you on my reading so far this month. I just got I just recently got back from my grandmother's, and of course, as usual, I brought a whole bunch of books and I only got to a few of them. When I go on trips like vacations and stuff, I always bring more books than I will probably get to because I can't narrow it down. I don't know which ones I want to read, and but I did bring my Stephen King book that I'm still currently reading. But what I'm thinking of doing, because his books are so long, I think I might jump around from different Stephen King books. And then as I'm jumping around, also read the other books I'm thinking about using to read along with the Stephen King books. So I'm still reading, but I still brought The Stand along with two other Stephen King books, The Shining and Needful Things, because I keep thinking about that one. But I wanted to get to this one first because I'm thinking, oh, you know what? That's the one I'm really interested in, maybe I should wait and not read that one right away. Just savor it a little bit. So I haven't read a lot of The Stand. I mean, it looks like I have, but I mean, compare this chunk to all this. But so far in the story, once again, Stephen King is still talking about how all the people are slowly dying and being affected by this disease, this flu outbreak. And there's this whole effect that the government was the one who accidentally spread the flu virus in the first place. Like, one of their test subjects escaped, and he infected his wife and baby. I don't remember if he had a baby boy or baby girl, but he ends up affecting them, and then they affect other people, like at the places they stop at. And then it just slowly builds and keeps, progressing and infecting more and more people to the point where the whole United States is slowly emptying out because people are either dying or like leaving their home state. And there are a few characters that are sort of like, there's this guy Larry Underwood, who he wrote a song he got a song on the radio. So he was like a one-shot, like, it was a one-shot wonder or something. And he's been trying, and of course, you know how that works out. Usually when you get into the world of Hollywood and stuff, you can get in, there's all these, like, you can get tempted to waste all your money that you earn from things that have made you famous. There's the drugs, there's, all the, the sex and all that stuff. And so some of the people he's owed money to have approached one of his friends that he owed money to, or he has a very like rocky relationship with this person, told him, you need to leave for a little while. So he ends up going home, and so when the flu outbreak happens, he is with his mom in, I think, New York City. So, and they have kind of a little bit of a rocky relationship too, because she finds her son has become very selfish, and he just takes and he takes, and now he's just lost his mother. She's just been infected by the flu and has died, and it's really hard on him, of course. And then there's also the girl, I don't remember her name, but she's the teenage girl that I mentioned in a previous video, that she got pregnant with her boyfriend's baby, and her mom does not respond well when she finds out her daughter is pregnant. She thinks her daughter is being selfish for getting herself pregnant, and she was like, "How dare you do this to us?" And what is established with them is that her brother died, and her mom had a very close bond with her older brother. So, the girl is, she can't compare to her brother. And her mom just ignores her daughter and just yells at her all the time when she does something, in her opinion, that's wrong. But she has a good relationship with her dad. and I think I've said this before, that Stephen King is really good at writing crazy female mother characters. Like Carrie, the mom, was completely nuts and very much a zealot. To the point of, like, she didn't even tell her daughter about sex or about, the whole puberty, or I don't know if it's considered puberty for girls, but the whole menstruation cycle. So that the whole conflict, the whole book starts with Carrie freaking out because her monthly cycle has started and she doesn't understand that. She thinks she's bleeding to death. And in the screenplay Rose Red, like, one of her characters that is kind of the annoying character that's part of the group in that movie. He's a bit of a mama's boy, and his mom is very controlling. Is not very good is not very careful with her spending. And she's very controlling and babies her grown son. And then the same thing with Eddie Kaspbrak and his mom. It's the same thing. So he's really good at writing dysfunctional mothers. Then we have another character, Nick Andros, who is mute, and he's a bit of a drifter, and because of that, he's seen as dumb. And he gets attacked by a bunch of these punks, these thugs, who, beat him up and everything, and then he's found by the sheriff of the town and the guy, sympathizes with him, helps him out, and even offers him a job, and offers to get these guys that beat him up. And turns out one of those guys is actually his brother-in-law, which makes things really complicated. And unfortunately, that character, the sheriff, and his wife both got the flu and they both died. So, and then the people that beat him up, Nick is kind of guarding them and waiting for the main police force to show up and come collect them. But they never come because this is when everybody's going crazy and there's all this chaos and people are dying and people are trying to escape and avoid being infected. And the three thugs have also been infected, and all three of them are slowly starting to die. And let's see what else. That's really as far as I've gotten in this book. Again, 1 second. Hi, I heard the garage. I know. Sorry, my parents just got home. They just wanted to let me know they were here. Let's see what else. Oh, and also, I don't know if I said this, but the girl who got pregnant, both her parents got the flu as well, and they both sadly passed. And we're at the point where she's burying her father in the garden because her father loves gardening. And this edition, not only an extended edition, but actually it looks like it actually has these black and white sketches in the book, which I think are kind of cool. I think this is the girl. Let me see, is her name in here? No, I don't think so, because all it says is she. It doesn't say her name. I'm trying to think of her name. Franny, that's her name, Franny. So I think it's kind of cool that there's some sketches and there's some pictures in here. I'm on chapter 29. I don't know how long each section is because each section is divided into so I don't know how many chapters are in this particular section. But I'm not even at the halfway point. So I went ahead and started reading my book that I was gonna read along with this one, with The Stand, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which is basically it's starting with the same premise, where there's a flu outbreak and people have died, and we're kind of in an post-apocalypse situation, and I think that's what's going to eventually happen in The Stand. Because like when I watched Natasha from Irene Is Odd, her video about this, and what I read on the back, it sounds like, yeah, we're gonna get to that point in The Stand, and there's gonna be two people, the mother Abigail. I hope I'm saying that right. I mean, that's how I think she said it, but it's spelled differently than the traditional Abigail. Like there's no second A after B when I usually see it spelled. And then I think she's like a faith healer or something. And then there's this bad guy, Randall Flagg. And I'm wondering, because Natasha also mentioned, because she started reading the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and she says that they reference this Dark Man guy. And that's who Randall Flagg is, the Dark Man. So I'm wondering, because that's what, especially with the Dark Tower series, that's when I definitely know where there's a lot of references to his other books. It's so overwhelming because he has so many books that are out, and a lot of his books reference each other in some way or another. But, because the books are so long, it's hard to find them. Especially if you haven't been reading them since he started publishing. So, as you can see, I progressed quicker on this one. And we've, the premise, like I said, is the same. There's a flu outbreak and all these people are dying. And they're all just trying to survive. And we got a set of characters, and we get their backstory. But with this one, there's more backstory. And we spend more time with the characters pre-apocalypse, where we kind of learn about them, spend more time with them, get to know them more. While this one, in the present, it's post-apocalypse in the present of the story, but we keep going back and forth between the present with our characters, and then we go to the past, and we learn about where they were before, right before the apocalypse, and even farther than that. We get to know their situations and where they were at the time. So it's not as long. I mean, I'm almost done with it, as you can see. I'm on, let's see, where am I at? I'm on chapter 42. I think this is the third section, because like The Stand, this is divided into sections. So, yeah, there's, I guess this is section 7, I guess. So, we're at 7 sections. But a lot of the chapters are really short in this one as well. And yes, technically the chapters in this one are also really short, but there's a lot more in this one than in this one. But I'm finding, the characters are more darker characters in this one. I feel like there's more of an edginess to Stephen King's novel than to Mandel's novel. I mean, it's still dark, but I think it's a little, it's not as gritty, I feel like, than The Stand. I mean, I don't know if the fact that this is a woman writer and this is a man writer, because I do feel like there's a difference between male writers and female writers, which kind of bothers me, because I remember I don't know if it was 2016 or before that, but I remember years ago looking on the internet and someone made a comment somewhere on some site about something about how female writer, there's how only male writers can write this kind of stuff, or write something like George R. R. Martin's work, like the Game of Thrones series, and a woman, and they're like, oh, of course a woman, because she'll write all the sappy stuff, like the romance and all the sentimental, cutesy stuff. And that really bothered me, because it's like, I want to be able to write gritty stuff too, very dark, because I do want to write a novel one day and create this amazing world and write it down, whether it's for myself or for other people. I don't want to just keep it in my head. I want to actually write it down, but writing down takes some discipline and actually focusing, and I'm not very good at that. But I'm almost done with this, and I'm gonna read other books that have no connection. Like I'm gonna read. I want to read The Winter People because I've been meaning to read that since last year, and I figured because with the setting and everything, the winter would be a good time to read it. And I meant to read over Christmas, but I never got around to it. And of course, The Winter People has nothing to do with Stephen King in this particular book. Although I just realized it's a thriller. So, and I think in Stephen King has written thrillers before. Like I think you would consider The Dark Half as a thriller, like a psychological thriller with a supernatural element to it. So I might start reading. Oh, and I'm also gonna probably read Crooked Kingdom. But after I read this one, I might also start reading American Gods, which I feel like has a similar feel to The Stand. It's not apocalypse, but I don't know, it just gives me the familiar vibes to The Stand, if that makes sense. Just like the darkness and the grittiness and the human race potentially. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but the human race becoming like extinct or being taken over by another set of beings. I hate when I try to say beings, like BEING, but I end up saying it ends up coming off as sounding like beans, like BEANG. I mean BEAN. Beans is in those little food items. So I don't really like saying that word. So I'm gonna finish this one at some point today. Probably I'm gonna try to. Although I need to run soon. So my mom, when they just came in, they were saying, my mom, was like, if you're gonna go running, now's a good time to go running because of course it's winter time here in the U.S. So it gets dark a lot sooner. It kind of sucks. But that's one of the bad things about winter and fall. Like I'm starting to like fall a little bit more and winter a little bit more. But it also tends to, but at the same time, I don't like that it gets darker so soon. Okay, so I also, but I might jump around to some of my other Stephen King books. And then I also want to talk about this. So my mom ordered me, I told my mom that I was interested in one of those dot journals to do for a bullet journal. So I saw this one online and my mom got it for me. It's really nice. I like that it's a hard one. I actually kind of like the hard cover over the soft covers. So I'm really bad at making lines. Even when I use a ruler, I can't seem to do it. But I'm trying to make it, be careful how I set it up because I can't erase this stuff unless I do it in pencil. So this is the list of shows, and this is the list of things that will go in here. And I'm trying to be a little more creative with it. Like, the problem with this is, I see what people are talking about, and I say it goes through. So, and then, my page on ideas. And it has two of these little bookmark thingies. I didn't notice that until just now. And I'm trying to make kind of a graph thing so I can keep a record of how many books I read in each of the genres I read. And then I also am going to do on this page favorites. Like I said, I'm going to try to be careful with how I set this up. Like, don't just jump into writing something in here. So that's what's going on. Like I said, that's what's going on with me in reading right now. I'm trying to get better. I really want to get better at speaking on my videos and less ums and less pausing for a few minutes. But it is a bit challenging because I don't take notes. I don't like doing that because I think I want to be more creative with, like, I feel like I don't want too much structure. with these videos. I feel like you'll get to know a person more if they don't read from a script. And I don't know if I'm giving a good impression or not. I mean, every time I watch other people's videos, I get so jealous of how, because I do have a bit of a lower tone, and my voice sounds nasally, and sometimes I feel like I sound like I'm bored. So I'm trying to be more eloquent as best as I can, and explaining more thoroughly about what I'm talking about, whether it's a discussion, or like talking about books. But it is a bit of a struggle. That is the downside of not taking notes, is that you'll stumble a lot more until you get more and more comfortable with this. And I think I'm mostly comfortable with doing these because I do talk to myself anyway. I even rehearse what I'm going to say on these videos. But I still, once I get started, I still stumble. And so hopefully I'm going to get better this year. But anyway, like I said, that's what's going on with my reading. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you are enjoying your reading. And feel free to let me know what you are currently reading. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.